Using various script functions, you can create complex scripts, and we're here to talk about transaction graphs. So say this is your initial transaction, your initial script, and you're waiting for an input. Depending upon the input, it could go this way or that way. Let's say it goes this way, if it's here, and then this might want to wait for various other inputs, which might further go this way or that way. Say if it ended up here, this one might go like this. You can actually have them interconnect at later points by giving values to certain areas. If you plan accordingly, say you might, okay, let's say you've got an oracle here. I can't spell. This function down here might wait for an oracle, so this won't proceed further until it also has an input from an oracle as well as an input from the script which it's waiting for. So this one might proceed anyway without any input from an oracle. So these are conditionals. If A go this way, if B go this way, again if A go this way, if B go this way, and so on and so on. You can actually have it one down here which splits into 3 ways, and you might be able to have, well, you can have multiple inputs needed. Let's say M1, M2, as well as the input from the script as well. So this will not happen, it will stop here. Even if M1 and M2 put in their inputs, it still will not occur unless the primary calculation, the primary input is put in here and it's followed down here specifically by this route. This, for example, might require, I'm going to just change the, actually, you know what, I don't need to change. I can just go around here. And you have a 3D art platform. So this might require M2, but let's say it also requires Z1 input as well. There's loads of business use applications for like EDI, data storage management, giving over rights, locking mechanisms, gaming. You know, okay, I'll give a quick gaming example. Say you have players who all need to find a key. There's a special locked area of the game, which this door requires 4 out of 5 keys. Now all the players need to go around the game and find these various keys. This door, once open, will trigger a series of events rather. So you have 4 players, 4 out of 5 keys. So, you know, 5 players run around trying to find the keys, but the first 4 that find it, so this will be like a, let's just do it from this angle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But only the first 4, well, you only need the first 4 to actually trigger it. So it will be like, you could have a threshold number, say like if 4 or greater, then trigger the output, which triggering output then leads on to further things allowing players to proceed in the game beyond the door. So let's just write that down for you. If 4, then trigger. Yeah, it's tricky writing in this. If 4, then trigger. Okay, and you'll have the 4 inputs here triggering that. Okay, and then like maybe further down here, as the players wander along the areas, they might also find another door, which they might find another door. So draw a quick door, which might again require inputs from here, from 2 of these. As a point, you know, if this in this game, once unlocked this door, it might allow all other players to proceed afterwards. And this further door here, so all players could proceed further onwards, but then they might be hit by that door, which again will require, say, maybe 2 or 5 to continue past this door, and 2 of the original keys, so that 5th player who missed out there might actually join in down here. Now, as you can see, like this kind of maps out in a similar way, but this can also be done for trading goods as well, trading goods and also business, like giving over management services and whatnot. So you said you're unlocking funds for another firm or something. I believe there was a big mistake recently with Citibank, where they accidentally sent 600 million, all of the money they owed, to the lenders, to the various lenders. So something like that could have been avoided if you had multiple key requirements. You'd require the original key, which would be the senior manager unlocking the system, and then all the junior members would be able to do their various staff, their work, because the senior keys unlock it. You might have staff at different levels. Let's just mark that differently. Staff. We're just going to mark staff with ST. You can have staff at different levels, which can then operate certain funds. So, write that out, I'll explain why in a minute. Because the staff could, once a certain key line is done, then the rest kind of disappears. So you'd operate, you program the entire script, and then you would let the operations run. One of the things about Bitcoin is the computational power, is that you've got the whole mining network as computational power. When they're processing blocks, they are basically processing the computation for you. So you can have really complex things running, and only when the transactions hit and go through and wait for the inputs, it would actually only run one side of the complex script, so you don't have to run everything. As I mentioned about oracles, you can have oracles into the mix as well. So say like you've got a staff structure in this, where you've got management key unlocking the funds, and you've got staff structure which requires staff to be at this level, and then they can operate a set amount of funds down here. Maybe, let's see if I remember my rubber key. maybe this amount of funds is a higher amount, like the 600 million, which got accidentally sent out, to operate the higher, if key equals M1, M2 staff plus key manager, main key, and then allotted funds equals greater than 500 million, or whatever, I think it was 600 million. But otherwise, the staff would be limited to operating with a lower amount of fund. So if you look at management structures in like banks and most any businesses, there are, when you actually write down their positions and their seniority and the staff underneath, you'll find similar structures all over. Hierarchical, is that right word? Yeah, structures. So anyway, so the staff might be limited to just here, unless you had the management one and two also signing a key, at which point he'd be able to sign off a higher amount of funds. He might even, send an email to these or whatever to request them to sign this. It could actually, it could be incorporated where he sends something off and they just literally click a button which then signs the key. Depends on how the software is structured. These are like functions, and having an oracle as well. It might be that, let's just pretend the script's gone this way. It might be that this oracle is a betting oracle, and you're waiting for different inputs from various, let's see, betting organisations. We'll do B1, B2, and B3, and let's see, B4. If all of these organisations put in their winning rates, the winning numbers, so it's a horse race, a football match or whatever, and then this one unlocked to the various winners. So say like we can actually have loads of winners set out here, but let's just say for this example, it's 5 different winners. So you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Depending on who won, you pay out the winners, or maybe each maybe 3 of them had the same bet, so it would actually split the amount of money which has come in from the different betting functions, and then that money in here would then be split between the ones who got it correct. Right, I think that will do for now.